Yo, what's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro Duel video. New Lightsworn support, it was revealed last week or 2 weeks ago, but I finally have the time to test them out. 2 new cards, but first of all the build, take this build with a grain of salt. I've tested a lot of versions with and without lawn mowing, although the grass is always green, well you know that card, but I think eventually I went with the 60 card build since as long as lawn mowing is legal, I think any version of Lightsworn, I think you should run lawn mowing in your deck, since I don't need to explain, right? Lawn mowing, milling everything and setting up Judgment Dragon plays. Eclipse is also in the deck, since you know these 2 new Lightsworn cards. Let's take a look at the new Judgment Dragons, Judgment Dragon first, the Punisher or Punishment Dragon, but yeah, these 2 new cards, they aren't really, they are okay, but the Punishment Dragon, for example, isn't really too great, since it's a bit counterproductive against your regular Judgment Dragon. You know, Judgment Dragon pay 1000 life points and blow up the entire field, while Punishment Dragon has the summoning requirement that you need to have 4 different Lightsworns, well at least 4 different Lightsworn monsters banished, and then you can special summon your Punishment Dragon, and at the cost of 1000 life points, both you and your opponent will send all monsters from the grave and face up from your banished pile back to the deck. So pretty much like an Exodius monster, except for the Lightsworn. So the Lightsworn monsters will stay in the grave and will stay banished. It's okay, but again, Judgment Dragon is much better, so you always want to have a Judgment Dragon live, and thus keeping Lightsworn monsters in your grave. And that doesn't go well together with Punishment Dragon. And the new Lightsworn, well, slash Twilight monster is Jane, the Twilightsworn general. It's okay, you can banish a Lightsworn monster from either your hand or your grave, then your opponent's monster will lose attack points, if I'm not mistaken, equal to 300 times the level of the banished monster, and also once per turn. And this also counts for that new Punishment Dragon, is that once per turn a Lightsworn monster activates its effect. So let's say Lila wants to destroy a back row, your Jane will mill 2 cards. So yeah, same for your Punishment Dragon, you will also mill, I believe, 4 cards. But again, they aren't really, wow, the best support, but it does have a few advantages, like they are dark, so again, a Twilight-oriented version, as it was back in, when was it, the French Turbo Twilight build, was it 2008-ish, 2009, where the deck was super relevant with triple Tragotia. Allure is definitely an option in the main deck, and the advantage is that Jane, the new Twilightsworn monster, is both a target for Solar Recharge and for your Allure of Darkness. Other options for the main deck: Breakthrough Skill, Beckoning Light, Forbidden Chalice, since the Zodiac, well, today's format is Zodiac format, right? So Forbidden Chalice, Breakthrough Skill, for example. DD Crow is also something I want to main deck, but let's not play Zodiacs. I mean, in this deck Zodiac beasts definitely have a place, but let's not play the Zodiac variant. Okay, let's see a few example duels. Alright, from playing, and I think, yeah, I've been playing this deck, well, these kind of versions with the new Lightsworn monsters, and these 2 new Lightsworn cards, to get their effects off, they are very situational, and this was one of the advantages of the new Twilight monster. So again, as I already mentioned, is that it's a target for both Solar Recharge and Allure of Darkness. So again, an option to reborn with Lumina and go for Minerva. And you know, 60 card, triple Fairy Tale Snow, definitely one of the MVPs. Prevent my opponent from using Raiden's effect to put it face down, and again, triggering the Eclipse to get more search, or at least add back those Judgment Dragons. Other options, you can also banish your Punishment Dragon from your deck with Eclipse, and also the Light Ruler. Again, I prefer the quote-unquote old monsters we know, like Judgment Dragon, the Light Ray, the Light Ruler card, over the new Punishment Dragon, since you want to keep your Lightsworn monsters in hand, and their effects are much better compared to your Punishment Dragon. And on top of that, you need to banish Lightsworn monsters from your grave, and that makes your regular Judgment Dragon dead, right? But again, Fairy Tale MVP to banish your Eclipses, etc. And can possibly make your Punishment Dragon alive. But again, the biggest advantage of your Punishment Dragon is that again, it has that positive average effect, just like Exodius, so you can, you know, reuse Northern, for example, or get some important monsters like BLS or JD that have been milled to the graveyard, send them back to the deck. So those are definitely options. But anyway, next duel, the opponent is playing with the Spiral deck, you know, that the Kaiser build with the prize card. Probably should have used Maxi earlier on the summon of, was it his agent? Spiral Super Agent, I think so. But in the end, okay, I'm getting a lot of draws, and we know what's coming, right? The 2 rank 1 exceeds, and eventually the Utopia Kaiser, which, no, he's going for Numeron to possibly go for the OTK, but I do have a few options, right? Ghost Ogre is an option, Fairy Tail that's in the grave is also an option, so GG well played, and with all the cards in my hand, I can't lose this run, right? So again, yeah, I've been trying out Rainbow Kuribo as well in the deck, as you will see in a few moments. It's good, it's like a card that you can discard off of your Lumina, or of course, very good if you send it to the grave with Lawn Mowing or whatever, but it could be okay since, you know, Zodiacs and the Kaiju build is very popular these days, and that build can OTK you out of nowhere thanks to Slumber, you know, so that's why I maybe want to main deck my Rainbow Kuribos again. But on the other hand, Ghost Ogre is also something needed in the main deck. Maxi as well, Beauty Crow maybe also a dark target for your Allure of Darkness, but anyway, next duel against the same deck again. I'm playing Dark Holes as well in the main deck, since I also tested this, or at least, yeah, Lightsworns in general against the Zodiac Beast decks. And if I don't start, if the opponent is able to get like a Trident, you know, Transia, and backed up with some back row like Strike, which is tremendously popular, immensely popular in today's format, I can't win against that field unless I have like a very good hand, Dark Hole for example, to, yeah, clear the field, right? Anyway, the Utopia Kaiser does stay on the field since it was protected, since my opponent controlled 2 other exceeds and then used Lana's effect upon the field spell, and this should be game again, a lot of advantage off of the Lawn Mowing. That's how it is. I mean, if you have Lawn Mowing, send a lot of cards from your deck to the grave. It does good. I think it does do well with Pot of Desires. I played without Pot of Desires, but you don't always have Lawn Mowing, yeah, you won't draw it always, so that's one of the reasons why I still like Desires to get, or at least to give your extra options to work with. Next duel against Eidolons, indeed with, yeah, you know, the Eidolon Wind Witches build, which is kind of good against this deck, since, you know, the fusion, yeah, the polymerization for Eidolons can banish your opponent's monsters as well, and that's where I made the mistake here in this duel. I have a Fairy Tail in my grave, but eventually his field spell prevents me from chaining card effects as soon as he activates the Eidolon summoning magic, so I can't chain my Fairy Tail here, so it's banished. Of course, he's going to banish one of my lights since he's going for that Markaba, so I lose my Fairy Tail, and now I can't banish my Eclipse that are both, I think I have 2 Eclipse in the grave which are live. I think I banished 2 JDs, which could have come in very handy, especially against the Markaba and the tons of back row here. Yeah, Sanctum into Sight is definitely good, no exceeds, and the Strike followed up, yeah, definitely puts me on hold. Otherwise that would have been an OT. No, indeed. No, he definitely would have survived with 50 life points, indeed. But yeah, anyway, get some mills during the end phase, but as you see for the next turn, don't really have a follow-up play. Definitely one of the bigger weaknesses of this deck. I mean, back in 2009-ish, the Lightsworn field of, yeah, you opening with normal summon Lumina, discard something like a Garrot or another Lumina to eventually get Garrot on the field, mill some cards in the end phase, maybe get lucky with some Garrot draws. That play, or these plays, are pretty much completely outdated in today's format, and so yeah, you have to find other things. So basic, at least, yeah, playing the Lawn Mowing variant, maybe Zodiac Beast. Well, definitely Zodiac Beast if you have the option. If you want to main deck Zodiac Beast, that's definitely an option. Also try out Shadow, since, you know, Shadow Fusion is bunkers against the opponent's Zodiac Beast deck, and yeah, Winda as well, of course, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. But again, it could be an option if you want to main deck Shaddolls in this version. And this is game over. The Wind Witch combo eventually is going to end with Crystal Wing and is able to attack for a game. So no defense, but again, the once per turn fusion summon of either that Wind Monster or the Markaba, the Light one that can hit pretty much a Solemn Judgment on legs. I can't keep up with that. Last game against ABCs, indeed. A deck that's pretty much outdated already with the release of Zodiac Beast. I get to start, so yeah, the regular shenanigans, you know. Yeah, go for Northern, go for Minerva, the standard plays, go for Omega. The first turn Omega is always great, and I think indeed one Eclipse was sent from my deck to the grave to banish one JD. Not really, but no, indeed, I don't have a Fairy Tail at least in my grave, and that's, yeah, that's priority number one, right? To get your Fairy Tail, at least, yeah, priority number one is to get as much as possible cards in your grave and then have a Fairy Tail with it. But eventually I sniped the Book of Eclipse with Omega, and then the Twin Twister just simplifies the game state, and Michael banishes his monster, and this I can attack for a game. So in these duels, I mean, I think from all the games I've played past few days, I think I only special summoned the Punishment Dragon once, since as I mentioned before, it's just always better to go for Judgment Dragon or leave Judgment Dragon alive, leave your Lightsworn monsters in the grave. It's just very situational, and same with the new Twilight Jane monster. It's again very situational, but the advantage of it's again both a target for Allure and Solar Recharge. So it could have a place in this deck, but with the new Link summoning mechanic, Lightsworns could get a serious boost. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.